Good morning, guys. It's 10 o'clock. We are going to do our first little bit of micro mobility for the day. So if you've been sat at your desk for the past couple of hours, we're just going to give you a couple of little things you can do to loosen off your hips and shoulders and thoracic spine, break up the morning a little bit. Perhaps it's time for breakfast if you haven't had it already. But what we're going to do is we are going to run through just 3 simple things that are going to loosen off your hips and open out your shoulders and thoracic spine. We focused yesterday on opening out the hips, specifically the front of the hips, and a lot of thoracic spine work. And today we're going to focus on the glute a little bit more and the posterior part of the hip and get into the shoulder a little bit. So let's get cracking. So if you're still at your desk or your workstation, that's fine, that's great, because we're going to use a chair to start off with. And what I'm going to get you to do is make sure that foot that's staying on the floor is set at a 90-degree angle, so your ankle's directly underneath your hip, and then just bring the foot directly on top of the knee. Okay, so I'm sitting in that cross-legged position. From that position, all I want you to do is think about sitting up nice and tall, so you're sitting right on your sitting bones and you're being drawn upwards. And from that position, just anchor yourself in on your foot, and then just press that knee down, and you'll feel the hip joint kind of wind up and get tight, and then release. And we just want 10 to 15 of those, okay? This is going to get right into the capsule of the hip, not so much a glute stretch itself, but right into the joint. And we're just applying a little bit of pressure on and off. And you should feel the range there start to increase as you get it past 10, 12, 15 repetitions. Good. Keep winding it in. Remember, it's not a contest of how much you can tolerate, we just want to get some movement in there. All the time, remember to get out of that rounded position, sit tall. Good. So we're going to stop that press now, and we're going to stay in that position and sit tall. But now we're going to think about taking our chest towards our shin. And move in and out. And now you might find you get a bit more of a stretch into the glute, okay? And as this area tightens up, our glutes get tight, and it can affect our lower back, it'll affect our posture, it'll affect our ability to move well. Again, in here, I'm thinking about hinging from my hips, okay? I don't want to drop and dump into my lower back, and just think about dropping my head. I'm trying to get the bottom of my sternum towards my shin. Good, and we're going to repeat that on the other side now. So, leg down, switch it over, making sure that my supporting foot is at 90 degrees, so my ankle's underneath my hip and then my knee, and we do exactly the same thing again. So now I'm going to press down here, I'm sitting tall and I'm pressing down on the inside of the knee to wind up that hip joint. I'll show you it from face on. Alright, I'll show you it from face on. So I'm sitting square here, my hip, knee and ankle make a nice straight line. I'm tipping up and over, and I'm just applying a little bit of downward pressure, and I want to feel that winding right up into my hip joint. Okay? Now you might not move very far. I certainly don't move as far on my right side. 10, 15, 20 repetitions here, all right? And the great thing is, guys, you don't need to leave your desk to do this, okay? Once you've had a little bit of winding up there, exactly the same thing. You're going to sit nice forward towards your shin, okay? So I'll turn back side on for this so that you can see it. Posture is absolutely key, okay? So I'm thinking about maintaining that length in the spine, and I'm moving forwards, and that movement is coming from my hip joint, not from my chest, and not by collapsing and dropping my rib cage, okay? And backwards and forwards, and now this will feel a bit more like a stretch, all right? Good. We're going to go back to the first leg, and we're going to do a bit of what's called a pretzel stretch now, okay? So I'm still seated, but now I'm going to cross that leg over, and I'm going to draw it right in with the other arm. So I'm hugging it in, hugging my left knee up and in with my right arm, and then I'm going to, if I've got an arm on my chair, I can actually pull myself into a rotation. If not, just squeeze that in tight and look around over the left shoulder. So whichever knee you're hugging in, you're looking around over the same shoulder whilst drawing that knee in towards the chest, and you'll feel a big stretch into your glute here. We want to resist the temptation to drop and around. We want to sit nice and tall. Good. All right. Release. We'll do exactly the same thing on the other side now. So I bring my right knee up and in. I'm going to hug it in with my left arm. If I've got an arm on the chair, I can grab hold of that and I can turn and push myself around into that rotation all the time, squeezing that knee up into the chest, not rounding and dropping through my back. And that's going to give the glutes a big open and a big stretch. Awesome. And we release. And now we're going to come up onto our feet, okay? Needing time to go and grab some breakfast. Cool. So that's addressed the glute musculature and right into the hip joint. Yesterday was all about working over the front of the hip, and today we're going to target the glutes a bit more. So all you need now, guys, is a wall or cubicle wall, depending on whether or not you're in work or whether or not you are still working from home. You just need a wall, okay? And you're going to stand side on to the wall, so mine's right here, and I'm going to use the hand that's closest to the wall. So I want my palm facing my leg to begin with. I'm going to bring that hand up slowly until I get it directly up over my head, okay? So from a side-on perspective, that arm is now covering my ear. What I'm now going to do from there is I'm going to turn the hand, the palm, to face the wall. But I'm trying to keep it as far away from the wall as possible. And what I'm going to do now really slowly is try and keep my hand away from the wall and bring it down and around with my palm still facing. My palm is still facing until I get somewhere down near my pocket, then I'm going to turn the palm back over. Now if I'm standing too close to the wall and I come up to here and turn it over, as soon as I start to move behind, you notice I've got to turn my body, okay? I want to try and keep my torso facing straight forward, which means I've got to come away from the wall a little tiny bit. And we want to move through this really slowly. We're only going to do 3 on each side, okay? I'm going to come up really slowly. So coming up the front's not a problem. When I turn here and turn the palm to face the wall, I've now got to keep actively pulling my arm away from the wall. I don't want to lean away from the wall, and I don't want to rotate to give me the space. So if I've got to move further away because my shoulders are stiff and tight, so be it. Good. And once you've done 3, we'll do exactly the same thing. You just turn, face the other way, and we do exactly the same thing. So you start with the palm facing your leg, you come up towards the ceiling, turn your palm to face the wall, and then slowly as you can, coming down without touching the wall, and as your hand gets back into where your pocket is, you turn the palm back over. Get 2 more repetitions. And guys, from a side-on perspective, we really want to make sure that as I'm turning here, I'm thinking about only moving from the shoulder joint, not from my hips, not collapsing, not arching back as my arm is back here. If I was against the wall here, everything would stay the same shape, okay? So as I'm coming around, and I'm not rotating as I'm coming around. So we're working on here, trying to fix using our core, allowing the muscles of the shoulder, particularly the back of the shoulder, which is very inactive when we're sitting at our workstation, so something to be aware of. But we're working this right into the shoulder joint. All right, good stuff, guys. So that's our little flow for this morning. We've sat down and actually got in and stretched the glutes a little bit, okay? The great thing is that you can do those throughout the day. You can microdose that and do that like every half an hour to hour if you're going to be desk bound for a prolonged period of time. What that means is that you're going to microdose that little and often, and if you think about the number of repetitions you'll build up over the day, fantastic. We also will do things like that shoulder one where we're actually standing up or we're having to move around, because that gets you away from your work desk and addresses that posture and changes your posture. Hope you found that useful this morning, and we'll come back at 4 o'clock this afternoon and we will continue to do a bit more of the same. Awesome. Enjoy your breakfast and have a good rest of the day, guys. See you later. Oh, also, we have a class at 1 o'clock. You need a dumbbell or a kettlebell if you're at home. If you can get outside and do it, great. It's going to be another tough one. So I'll see you later on. Cheers, guys.